The village is forgotten. Once bustling with life, it now stands as a mere shadow of its former self. Lost to time and shrouded in shadow, the village is a ghostly reminder of what once was. The mist clings to the remnants of homes, wrapping them in a cold embrace. The pines stand tall like sentinels of some ancient, watchful evil. Their presence is both majestic and menacing, as if they guard the secrets buried deep within the forest. Their branches intertwine above the forest floor, blocking out the sun. The canopy creates a perpetual twilight, casting eerie shadows that dance with the wind. The air is heavy, thick with the scent of decay and the promise of something sinister. Each breath feels like inhaling the very essence of the forest's dark history. This is the domain of Blackwood Manor. Once a grand estate, it now stands in ruin, a testament to the horrors that unfolded within its walls. The path to the manor is treacherous, overgrown and consumed by nature's slow reclamation. It is a journey fraught with danger and uncertainty. Each step forward is a struggle against the forest's grasp. The underbrush seems to reach out, trying to pull you back into the depths of the woods. The village whispers of Blackwood Manor. Tales of its dark past are shared in hushed tones, as if speaking too loudly might awaken the spirits that dwell there. A place of darkness, forever tied to the horrors of its past. The manor's very walls seem to echo with the cries of those who suffered within. The wind whispers through the trees. It carries with it the voices of the past, a haunting melody that chills the soul, carrying with it the chilling tales of Blackwood's legacy. Each gust seems to tell a story, a fragment of the manor's cursed history. It speaks of shadows that move in the night, figures that flit between the trees, always just out of sight, yet ever present, of disembodied whispers that send chills down your spine, voices that seem to come from nowhere and everywhere, filling the air with a sense of dread. This is a place where the veil between our world and the next is thin, a place where the boundaries blur and the supernatural seeps into the mundane, a place where the dead refuse to stay silent. The village remembers. It holds on to the memories of those who once lived and died here, their spirits lingering in the shadows. It remembers the darkness that consumed Blackwood Manor, the evil that was unleashed, and the lives that were forever changed. And it remembers the man responsible for unleashing it upon the world. His presence is felt in every corner of the manor, a dark stain on its history. His name was Jonathan Blackwood, and his story is forever etched into the very fabric of this cursed place. A tale of ambition, madness, and the supernatural, it serves as a warning to all who dare to venture into the depths of Blackwood Manor.
Blackwood Manor stands at the edge of the village, a looming presence that casts a long shadow over the surrounding landscape. A monument to a bygone era, now crumbling under the weight of its own wickedness and neglect. The once proud walls are now overrun with creeping vines, and the windows, shattered and empty, seem to weep for the past. It was erected in the 19th century, a testament to the Blackwood family's wealth and influence. The architecture, grand and imposing, was meant to showcase their power and prestige, but its grandeur has faded, replaced by an oppressive sense of dread. The once lavish interiors are now cloaked in darkness, the air thick with the scent of decay and forgotten memories. Jonathan Blackwood, the last of his line, inherited the manor in the late 1800s. His stern visage, captured in old portraits, still haunts the halls. He was a recluse, obsessed with the occult, and driven by a thirst for forbidden knowledge. His days were spent poring over ancient tomes, seeking secrets that were best left undiscovered. The villagers whispered of strange rituals conducted within the manor's walls. They spoke of eerie lights and unearthly sounds that emanated from the house at all hours, of chanting that echoed through the night, a haunting melody that sent shivers down their spines and kept them awake in fear. Blackwood's obsession with the unknown grew with each passing day. His collection of arcane artifacts expanded, each item more mysterious and dangerous than the last. He filled the manor with arcane artifacts, each one a potential doorway to a realm beyond human comprehension. The manor became a labyrinth of the bizarre and the forbidden. The villagers watched, their fear growing with every flickering candle seen in the manor's high windows. They knew something terrible was brewing within those walls. One fateful night in 1895, the villagers' worst fears were realized. A fire erupted within Blackwood Manor, consuming it in a raging inferno that lit up the night sky. The flames roared and crackled, devouring everything in their path. The villagers could only watch in horror as the manor was reduced to ashes. When the flames finally subsided, all that remained was a charred skeleton of the once grand estate. The air was thick with smoke and the acrid smell of burnt wood. But the true horror was only just beginning. The manor's destruction had unleashed something dark and malevolent, a presence that now haunted the ruins and the village beyond.
Jonathan Blackwood's descent into darkness was swift and absolute. Once a man of reason and science, his transformation into a figure of dread was both shocking and inevitable. He abandoned all pretense of normalcy, surrounding himself with occultists and practitioners of forbidden arts. These were not mere dabblers in the dark. They were individuals who had long since forsaken the light, each with their own dark secrets and sinister ambitions. The villagers spoke in hushed tones of sacrifices made under the light of the moon. They whispered of unholy ceremonies that took place in the dead of night, where the cries of the innocent mingled with the chants of the damned, of blood rituals designed to appease ancient entities. These rituals were not mere superstitions, they were acts of profound and terrifying significance, meant to summon forces beyond human comprehension. Blackwood's obsession centered around an ancient grimoire he discovered within the manor's depths. This was no ordinary book. It was a tome of dark power, hidden away for centuries, waiting for someone with the will and the madness to unlock its secrets. The book, bound in human skin and filled with unholy symbols, promised unimaginable power. It spoke of realms beyond our own, of entities that could grant wishes at a terrible cost, and of rituals that could bend reality itself. But such power came at a price that demanded not just blood, but the very essence of one's soul. Blackwood knew this, and yet he was undeterred, a price Blackwood was all too willing to pay. His determination was unwavering, his resolve unbreakable. He believed that the rewards far outweighed the risks, that the power he sought was worth any sacrifice. As Blackwood delved deeper into the grimoire's secrets, the very air around the manor grew heavy with malevolence. The once grand estate became a place of dread, where shadows seemed to move of their own accord and the walls whispered of unspeakable horrors. The villagers reported seeing grotesque figures lurking in the shadows. These were not mere phantoms of the imagination, but manifestations of the dark forces Blackwood had unleashed. Hearing whispers in languages unknown to man. These whispers were not just eerie sounds, they were messages from another realm filled with promises of power and threats of doom. Blackwood was opening a door to a realm of unimaginable evil, and there was no closing it. He had crossed a threshold from which there was no return, a point of no return that sealed his fate and that of all who came into contact with him. The fire that consumed Blackwood Manor was no accident. It was the inevitable result of the dark forces he had courted, a final cataclysmic event that marked the end of his earthly journey. It was the culmination of Jonathan Blackwood's dark obsession, a final, desperate attempt to unleash the power he sought. In those final moments, as the flames consumed him, he believed he was on the verge of achieving his ultimate goal. The villagers believed he perished in the flames, but some whispered that he had merely traded one plane of existence for another, becoming one with the darkness he had unleashed. They say that on certain nights, when the moon is full and the air is thick with fog, you can still hear his whispers, calling out from the shadows, forever bound to the darkness he so fervently sought.
Beneath Blackwood Manor lay a secret, a hidden chamber, accessible only through a concealed passage in the manor's depths. This chamber was Jonathan Blackwood's inner sanctum, a place where he conducted his most forbidden rituals. It was here that the true extent of his madness was revealed. The walls of the chamber were adorned with disturbing murals, depictions of ancient rituals, of demonic entities, and of unspeakable acts performed in the name of power. The air was thick with the stench of decay and the lingering residue of dark magic. Scattered throughout the chamber were the remnants of Blackwood's rituals. Animal bones picked clean, strange symbols etched into the floor, and an altar stained with what appeared to be blood. This was a place where the veil between worlds was worn thin, a place where the echoes of Blackwood's dark deeds lingered long after his demise. It was within this chamber that Blackwood sought to summon something truly ancient and powerful, something that would grant him dominion over life and death itself. The villagers whispered of a name uttered with fear and revulsion: Abaddon.
Blackwood Manor stands empty, a decaying testament to the darkness that once thrived within its walls. But the evil that Jonathan Blackwood unleashed did not vanish with him. It lingers still, trapped within the manor's very foundation, feeding on the fear of those who dare to enter.
Visitors to the manor report a range of unsettling phenomena. Cold spots that defy explanation, disembodied whispers that seem to emanate from the walls themselves, and the overwhelming feeling of being watched, of being judged by unseen eyes. Some claim to have seen apparitions within the manor, shadowy figures that flit through the darkened hallways, their forms shifting and changing like smoke. Others speak of disembodied voices, whispering their secrets, their pleas for help, and their warnings to leave while they still can. The manor itself seems to react to the presence of visitors. Floorboards creak underfoot as if walked upon by unseen footsteps. Doors slam shut on their own, their hinges groaning in protest, and a sense of dread permeates every inch of the decaying structure.